Hello parents, welcome to one of the most important parts of the year, parent teachers meeting, right? So I'm very excited for two reasons. One, you'll understand the progress of the child in terms of where the child is doing very well and also where the child has maximum opportunity to grow. So I really invite each one of you to join and have a very meaningful and engaging conversation with the teachers. Right. Apart from that, today I would also like to share how do you interpret the report which we call as Learnometer, and this is applicable for students from grade 1 onwards in the Fly Holistic schools. So overall, the Learnometer is categorized into five major segments. The first segment, if you can see, you can be able to see here. The first segment is about the scholastic progress, where we talk about the core subjects that the child has, right from English, Hindi, Telugu, mathematics, social, and science. So, all our question papers are designed with Bloom's taxonomy as underlying principles of Bloom's taxonomy we use. So, here we have four different components. The first component is called as remember level where it's purely remembering whatever we have taught the child. Is the child able to remember that particular thing or an object, right? Second is how much is the child able to understand. So that is the second level of the Bloom's taxonomy. And the third level is whatever you are understanding, how much are you able to apply it. So that is at the third level. And the last level, which call it as HOTS, it is higher order thinking skills. In a simpler way, it is like how much you are taught, you are able to apply in different circumstances which we have not explained to you. So the entire assessment is based on these four models of remembering, understanding, applying, and higher order thinking skills. So again, you have gradation for that. You have right from here, you have this classification where we have right from A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, D, and E. So based on how this child has performed, we will be giving you the assessment scores of the child. And the second dimension of this Learnometer is about the projects, how the child is sticking to projects. You know, there is a lot of relevance and importance to this. One, while academically it has its relevance. Second, if you really look at your work, work area, some of the important things like sticking to the deadline of the projects, presentation, how well are you communicating with others, how is your contribution to the project if it is a group contribution. All these dynamics are very, very essential in our work environment. So we are trying to look at giving those kind of experiences to children right when they are young. So the second part of it is about the projects where you have for all the core subjects, language subjects, you will have based on these parameters which I mentioned in terms of sticking to the deadline of the project, presentation of the project, communication with others, and the contribution of that particular child in that project, because some projects are individual and some projects are those where teams are involved. Right. This is the second part. First is scholastic progress, second is the project progress. Third, which is equally very important, we call them as enrichment. A lot of schools use the terminology of extracurricular activities. For me and for Fly, enrichment activities are as important as any other subjects or activities, uh, because they enhance the creative side of the child, which is very essential to have thinking in a multiple direction, right from critical thinking to creative thinking to having joy of life. I keep telling this analogy. Logic logic is something which will help us earn well. Creative side, art side, enrichment side is something which will create magic of life. So we really look at the progress of children in these enrichment activities. In four areas we keep looking at them: music, art, dance, and sports. Right. And then the fourth category of it is non-cognitive areas. If you look at, the world is moving more and more towards skill-based and attitude-based, future, or the skills and attitudes are something which are going to fetch many more things for a child, for an individual in the future, and even now. So we consciously look at what are those non-cognitive areas which are very important for a child to develop on. So we have 8 different areas for that. Out of these 8, I'll quickly run through all of them. One is a communication. We call this as 8C framework. One is communication. Second is curiosity, collaboration, compassion, courage, creativity, conscious thinking, and critical thinking. Right. So as there are 8 areas, you may be seeing at this, right? Each one of them, imagine like a hat. Imagine like a hat. In certain places, we have to wear our curiosity hat. For example, if you are learning some subject newly, you want to be with that curiosity mind. Hey, what is it that I am going to learn new today? If you are going to a new place, new vacation, you will be wearing that curiosity as a hat, right? If you are doing some creative job, if you are doing some problem solving, you may want to put up as creativity as a cap. If your friend needs some help, you may want to put up collaboration as a hat, or sometimes even compassion as your hat. So these 8 areas, which we call as 8C framework, is very important for a holistic well-being of a child. And as I mentioned, these are the 8 areas where we have 5 levels in it. The level 1 being a beginner to level 5 being a scholar in that particular domain, right? So there is the fourth part, and the last part is about the physical self of an individual, where we capture the height and weight of a child, and also the total number of days which this child has come to the school. So our invitation to all the parents is use this as a matrix to understand where your child is, and also understand where your child needs more support. It's more like that is an opportunity where you have the largest scope to develop. One of my coach was telling, recently as India has won World Cup, let me use this analogy of a cricket thing, right? So my coach was sharing, if you don't know to play a sweep shot, what will you do? So it's like I practice it how many times till I get mastery on it. So likewise, I invite you all to see whichever areas the child needs more progress. Let us actually support that child to come to certain level so that he will be taken care automatically after that. So with that, there is an overall summary of our Learnometer, and at the end we also give a small summary of how do we see that particular individual as a whole in that particular period of time. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, you look at out of these 8Cs, which C do you want to come for the parent teachers meeting tomorrow? If I am you, I would actually come with a hat of communication, curiosity, and collaboration. These 3 hats I will wear and be with the teachers to understand more and have a great parent teachers meeting tomorrow. Thank you so much. I hope this is helpful for all of you. Thank you. Bye.